Hi there. Let's take a look at Node. The first thing I want you to do is to open up a terminal and type the word Node. And this is on assumption that you have already installed Node. And when you're in there, you'll see this nice looking symbol that can be used to perform different operations. Now let's try out adding two things like 1 plus 1, 2 plus 2, 4 times 5, and so on. So you can do your ordinary math, and you can also log a bunch of stuff. And there you see some really cool stuff from before. Now what we've been working on here is known as the REPL, which stands for read, evaluate, print, and loop. So as we type stuff like 1 plus, say, file, that is read by the JavaScript engine, then it is evaluated, and finally when we press enter, it is printed out. Then it goes back to a state of waiting for some more information. That's what we call loop, going back to step 1. And we can also design functions. Let's design a named function like something like this. We can also design functions that are anonymous but are named or stored in variables, such as this one. So we can say like that, and you'll notice that we can call them. So we can type hi, we can also type that, and we'll get our functions back here. Now we are supposed to look at what the event loop does. In the previous example, you read something about a restaurant owner receiving orders and then serving them as fast as he or she can. The same thing happens in Node.js. You don't have to look for web servers, official web servers, to download and install on your web servers. What do I mean? You don't have to use things like Apache or things like Nginx and a bunch of other proprietary servers that might exist out there, because Node is a server itself, and that means it listens for any request that comes in from the internet, for pages, any kinds of submissions that you make, and so on. So let's take a look at running a function. So let's give this function, and let's call it hi, and in this function we're going to keep printing something like that. So we can save this file as hello.js. Then let's quit this by pressing Ctrl+C twice. Then this is where my file is. I can just type node in hello.js, and no result. So that means I have to kind of call the function. So let's call it and try again. There. Okay, now there is another function that we can use to mimic a constant state of driving or a constant state of working, and that function is known as set interval. Set interval repeats a particular function or runs a particular function several times, and this one is time in some seconds, milliseconds. So let's save and let's run our file. So we can type node, then hello. Notice, so this doesn't end. It goes on forever until I press Ctrl+C. And this is what we should be looking at in our event loop, where our node will always be listening to something coming, to some kind of input from external sources. And then it will work with that. Well, thank you for looking at this quick primer to Node.js. And Node.js, to reiterate, can be used as a calculator. So in your node, you can type a bunch of stuff, and you can also use scripts like you've seen here. And we'll be looking at a bunch of other cool things we'll be working with. Thank you.